Okay, welcome to a video about coloring comic books. I'm going to try to quickly run you through my process here. Okay, so I would prefer that this is an image I did of a sketch I did of Hellboy. I prefer that for this type of style, for the lasso technique, I prefer that it was just a solid black and white image without the gray. But that really doesn't matter. I'm just not exactly sure how it's going to turn out. Also, I'm going to play a little bit here before I do that with the levels. Yeah, there's levels and curves, and this is the best one for black and white, and then curves is a little bit better for dealing with color. So I could reduce this all the way down to black. Solid black everywhere there's any gray. Or try to bring out all the white. Bring out some more white. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Leave it about there. Okay, so what you want to do, make a couple layers. And select one. And we're going to make that a multiply. And let's see here. Let's pick a background color. We're going to try to pick kind of like the darkest colors that we might be using for this composition. We're going to kind of go for a desaturated Dave Stewart color palette here. Okay, so I have not used my shortcut keys here in a second. I gotta think about this. Oh, that's right. I don't have a shortcut for fill yet. I need to do that. Shift F5. Okay, so we just fill the whole image, and all right. So from there, we're just going to break it down into background, foreground, and midground. So let's grab our regular lasso tool here. I'm just going to kind of do things quickly, and I generally try to do things kind of quickly anyway. If I was more serious about what I'm doing right now, well, I'll do some of it anyway. I'll do a little bit of editing. So some of this I can go really fast on if there's solid black. Alright, then you hold I think shift, yeah, to add. So look up here, I didn't get the head properly. Alt, I think, to take away. So like here, clean this up. And then add up here. That's the only big mistake I noticed. Add a little there. Okay, right now that really doesn't matter. Okay, so now I have a hotkey for Hue Saturation that brings up this window. I don't remember what the keyboard shortcut is. You just have to download a list of Photoshop shortcuts, and then you assign it to a hotkey. I have a Logitech G13 hot keypad, and it's got its own software. It's really easy to use, so I just assign stuff to that. Okay, so basic technique here is, wait 1 second, let me cancel this, and I want to copy this color layer here, and no wait, don't do that yet. Yeah, don't do that yet. Okay. So your first hue saturation shifts are all going to be pretty much hue oriented. So we're just going to take the slider here, and we're pretty much looking for a color for the tentacles. And also a good shortcut to do is the hide selection, so you can turn that on and off. It helps to see what you're doing more clearly. You know, you'll use all these sliders to get the right color you want, but like I say, these are just going to be more hue oriented. And then later we're going to do all the midtones and highlights separately. Yeah, I think I want this like a blue. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so like in this area, for example, that it didn't get filled in right. If you needed to, you could highlight that there and fill it with the fill tool, the color selector and the fill tool. You'd have to take this layer and turn it to normal, so you get your true color and color select that and do all that. But I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I have deselect also as a shortcut. So deselect that, and we'll just keep going with the lasso tool here. Start to highlight Hellboy. We'll separate him from the midground. Again, since there's so much black, I can go really, crap, don't want that. Go really quickly here. Hue shift, hide selection. So once you get into this, let's go ahead and do this red color. Pretty much just have the coat, the belt, and the red. See, that's what I'm saying. It just really makes this part easy to get these colors all gelling together. Okay. Deselect again. Just gonna keep cutting them up here. You hold Shift to select multiple areas. Select. Again, I'm just trying to find the base hue at first. I'm looking for brown here, which that's close to what we get. Then I have to bring the lightness down, and bring the saturation up. Then I can kind of play around and get a little bit more specific with the color shift. That's close enough. Oh yeah, we got the sword. Okay, so probably just pretty much want to take saturation way down here. If you have no saturation, then you can't shift the color. You have to do colorize. That's another tip. And generally, you want to work from having some color. It's easier to decolorize than colorize. I think it always ends up looking a little better. Okay, so that's pretty much that step. The next step is to just start grabbing, thinking about midtones and highlights. So, for example, and in this step you can do like multiple places at once, even though I don't always recommend it, because you may want to increase or decrease things separately. You know, you don't want the same amount of highlights everywhere, etc. But for instance, we'll do all of Hellboy here, and I'm just gonna be kind of quick. Yeah, some of this is kind of already done because of that gray in there. Wait, how'd that go? Go the other way on it. Just roughly estimating everything, but it always, it gives it a good look when you just kind of roughly do it, I think. Alright, we'll rock that. So, just shift, hide, and then, we just want to bring up the lightness. Depending on, you either want to do this once or twice, depending on how detailed you want your, the cell shaded look to be, but, also increase the saturation. I very rarely shift the hue. You can usually just kind of leave it where it's at, but you just have to play with it. See what looks good. Okay, then we're going to do one more layer here, just the highlights. Oops. Try to keep them kind of limited. And I'm just going to kind of keep repeating that whole deal here. What I want to do, actually, I think, is cut all this off. A lot better. Okay, let me clean that up a little bit. Didn't see all this junk up here. Or I wasn't thinking about being within the lines. Ah. And actually, just to kind of show you, I'll go ahead and... No, wait, actually, that won't work. Well, okay. Yeah, we'll do it separately. I'll do this, I'll do the background. Okay, deselect. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, all one layer. Oh yeah, I should have a long time ago probably, like I say, copied that layer when I had just the foreground, the midground, the background separated. That always helps to have that around. Now, because of the style of this, I'm not going to add any special effects. I could add, you know, like a some sort of texture. Maybe like a paper, a little bit of a paper texture. Crap. I don't know where anything. Okay, here we go. Yeah, just like a basic kind of paper texture. And play with the blending layers. You select it and then just hit up and down on the keyboard to play with that stuff. I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do here is shift the color on that paper layer, kind of make it a little bit more blue instead of yellow. Okay, so let's do that. I need to rasterize it, rasterize, whatever. And just hue shift it again, or use this hue saturation shortcut again. Okay, let's try this again. This may not work exactly. That's actually pretty good right there. Soft light. It just gives it a little bit of organicness to it, so it doesn't look so computerized. Let's do soft light. And then of course you can change the opacity. And the fill is kind of saturation, I guess. Just takes out the color more. Kind of turn it on and off. Let's try now going back to this and shift the hue around. Also, I kind of want to warm it up a little bit. Kind of a little too cold. Just take the saturation out too. I mean, you still have your texture, but no color. But the color kind of helps break, gives it some of that pattern though too. So. Anyway, there's that, and then generally I will put a hue and saturation, do a whole nother hue and saturation layer here, and then a curves. Curves is the shit right here, because you just can totally get into in depth with your image. Do a hue saturation, and you can do these for your lassoed areas too, or like I'm doing right now, just doing it for the whole image. You just kind of get lost in this shit though, so we'll just it's about 35 minutes, we'll call it a day. That's pretty much it, if I'm doing the lasso technique. Oh yeah, like so, okay, so if I was going to do a gradient, this might actually look pretty good on this. Just get a new layer, and where's that? Get the gradient tool. I think it's here in the paint bucket, and just pull it across, and you do the same thing. You know, that adds a good bit to it, I think. Just to give it some color differences, some nice color shifts. Should pull this down here. We can pull the hue saturation back up, lighten it up a little bit. Or actually, wait, we do that in the curves. Closing it, shouldn't look that. Yeah. And you know, if you wanted to, you could lasso out some areas and use an airbrush, add some highlights like that, add special effects like I said, but that doesn't really fit with this style, so I'm not going to do any of that. But there you go. Thanks for watching.